All right, we are live on YouTube. We can stay muted. All right, we are live on YouTube. We can stay muted. All right, we are live on YouTube. We can stay.
Hello out there, everybody. Just so you know, we're going to go ahead and get started here at 7 o'clock. So just a couple more minutes. We'll be getting started. So just hang tight. All right, I know we're going to go ahead and get started here in just a second, so hang tight, everybody. Are we good to open up the room here?
Yes, we are open.
All right. Perfect. Hello and welcome, students that are just joining us. We're going to go ahead and get started here in just a second. I just wanted to point to your attention our chat feature here. So make sure right there at the bottom of the screen, you're clicking on the chat button and you're adjusting your to all panelists and attendees. This way we can see you, talk to you, interact with you here. I'm just going to go ahead and throw some hellos here in the chat. While we're getting started, please go ahead and find yourself to the chat button and let us know where you're from. All right, any students in the chat? Matthew, hey, welcome back, buddy. Good to have you here as always. Where's everybody from? Phoenix and Air. All right, so we have Kania in Phoenix. All right, Venus in Memphis, Tennessee is here tonight. Thank you for being here. All right. I see we still have more attendees trickling in here. All right. We have Jarrell here from Hay. We have Alexander from North Carolina. Sadly, don't say that. No. Sorry, Kenya. I apologize for that. And Phoenix out here from Citrus Heights, California. Fatimi from Iran. Halachatori. We have Arturo from Washington, North Carolina, another North Carolina. All right. Perfect. Well, hey, thank you all so much for being here. Oh, I see Las Vegas is here tonight. All right. Good deal. So as more students are coming in, just make sure that we're guiding them over to the chat. First off, my name is Hector Verdugo. I'm the Senior Vice President of Admissions here at Academy of Art. Welcome so much to everybody for being here tonight. We're really, really excited to have you. You know, we wanted to put on something special for everybody to you know, keep us entertained while we're here in quarantine, but also to look into some really cool programs. We have our all-star cast here tonight that's going to be helping us out. So before I do any introductions, let me just take a quick moment to just promote a couple of things here for us. As you guys know, we do these events every single Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to go ahead and just let everybody know that we have a couple of upcoming events this week. So if anybody wants to check it out on Thursday, if you've never gone to this event, if you're thinking about potentially being an online student, you've never been an online student before, myself and Reed Rocker, our Senior Director of Admissions, we're going to be hosting a workshop on how to be an online student, what to look for, how to navigate this. More importantly, too, we show progression of student work to give you examples of how students are learning remotely and how we actually help students to develop as artists. So whether you're thinking about attending here in the future on site or just permanently online, this is a really cool thing to check out if you haven't done so. Next Tuesday, our upcoming event is going to be photography focused. So it's going to be learning the secrets behind Edwin Vargas's intricate color gel studio lighting. So basically, really talented photographer is going to be talking about lighting and colors. So check that out next week. It's a free workshop if you want to check that out. The RSVP link is right there in the chat. So last thing I'm going to go ahead and drop here is if you're interested in looking at any of the upcoming events here at the university, here's a link to take you directly to the calendar. Just go ahead and scroll through the month of December. On the top right, there's a little button that'll take you to different months. When you click on that, it'll show you what's scheduled for January, and we're always adding new events. So if anybody has any special requests, send them my way. We'll be more than happy to put on a cool event. So anyway, moving on, speaking of cool events, tonight's really cool event is behind the scenes, creating a live talent show remotely. So we have our all-star cast here in the house tonight, tons of experience, tons of awards combined with all of our cast here tonight. Joining us is going to be Richard Hart, our full-time faculty member. We have Steve Cotton, our co-director of the program here. And last but certainly not least is Jan Yanehiro, the director of our School of Communications and Media Technologies. So a little bit about Jan. I've been fortunate enough to travel with Jan all over the United States. We've done workshops together, all kinds of cool stuff. This is actually one of the first times I'm going on before Jan. Usually I have to go on after Jan, and it's a big order to fill. So I'm happy to get even with Jan for once. So, but a little bit about Jan. She's traveled the world in search of exotic places and fascinating celebrities. She has bungee jumped, skydived with the Army's Golden Knights, and climbed a frozen waterfall in Colorado. Jan graduated from Fresno State University with a degree in journalism, news editorial. She's the author of 3 books. Her latest book is It's Not the Life I Ordered, 50 Ways to Keep Your Head Above Water When Life Keeps Dragging You Down. So I definitely want to read a copy of that one, right? She's hosted 6 documentaries in the US government's relocation and redress of 110,000 Japanese Americans during World War II. Jen also has won multiple awards, including an Emmy, the Eleanor Roosevelt Humanitarian Award, and the Girl Scouts Woman of Distinction Award. So without further ado, my name is Hector Verdugo. I'm the Senior Vice President. I'm going to be here in the chat. I'm going to be here answering your questions and facilitating. I'm going to pass it over to Jan, and I'll see you guys later in the workshop. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, Hector, thank you very much for that kind introduction. And I can see that George Lucas says, oh, man, he's from, I think, Tucson. And he said, oh, man, I only did indoor skydiving. Come on, that's pretty cool. Come on, George, that's really cool. So we've got a fun evening planned for you. And one of the things we're doing right now is live production. And live production takes into account everything we do at the School of Communications. It takes into account storytelling, video, hosting, reporting, running camera, running the mass control, it's audio, it's social media, it's creating a website for the show, and it's performing. So we've got this fun evening plan. We're going to show you what's happening now. We're shooting this show called Studio 79, and we give away a real prize, and that's what we're doing. But I just want to say my 2 colleagues, Richard Hart and Steve Cotton and I have known each other for 1,000 million years. We worked together 1,000 million years ago. We were the first show, we worked together in this first show in the country that actually used video. And I know you think, video? What the heck is that? I mean, we're using our phones, right? So that's how old we are. We're ancient. We're part of the dinosaur age. But with that, we've got some real history, and we want to share it with all of you. So first, Steve Cotton, Steve and I started working together since 1977, back in the dinosaur age. Since then, Steve went on to have his own production company. He ran his own production company for 21 years. He was one of the first production companies in the country to do video games, when everybody's going, what's video games? So Steve pioneered some of the video game production that we see today. He has built studios all over the world, including all 4 studios at our school in San Francisco. He built it, and he knows about lighting and cameras and technology. And so I just want to say that this is Steve Cotton. So he knows storytelling. He's won awards. Everybody here, Richard, myself, and Steve, everybody's won Emmys. I mean, it's like, we call them, it's like, okay, Emmys. But for us, it means that we get to pass on our knowledge to all of you. So Steve Cotton is here. He and I are producing this show called Studio 79. But I'm going to toss it to Richard, because Richard Hart is going to be the first to start us off. And Richard and I were television partners for more than a decade. We traveled the world together, interviewing the rich and the famous, from Julia Roberts to Placido Domingo, the opera singer, to I interviewed Kevin Costner. And, Richard interviewed a bunch of people. We together have, you figure we've interviewed more than 1,000 people, correct, Richard?
Oh, well over that. I calculated that you and I have interviewed 10,000 people in our careers.
Okay. So there you go.
And that's
10,000
no
people.
exaggeration.
Yeah. But a couple of things. So Richard and I hosted a show together, and we traveled the world together, and we interviewed, Richard says, 10,000 people, from the rich and the famous to everybody else, sports figures, you name it. But what you don't know about Richard is he's a licensed pilot. He is licensed to fly drones, and along with real planes. And he's also a black belt. You've got a black belt in Taekwondo. He's also a scuba diver. And so, there's more to Richard than, he's also brilliant. And he and I were often mistaken for being married to each other because we hosted the show together. But Richard
and we finished each other's sentences every night.
There you go. But Richard said, yes, we are married, but not to each other. And so, he's my television husband. And so that's how we've known each other for a long time. We've traveled, between Steve, Richard, and myself, we traveled to Russia and Japan, Australia and China, and some exotic places like Paris and Italy and, Mexico, and everywhere. And I'm humbled that I had that opportunity to travel and learn so much and meet so many fabulous people around the world. I am from Hawaii, as you can see my background. I was born and raised in this island of Hawaii, Honolulu. So I'm so lucky to have just traveled the world in search of great stories for television. So with that, I'm going to toss it to Richard, who's going to give you an overview of our program. Richard, you're up.
There are lots, as Jan just mentioned, the words telling stories or looking for good stories. There are lots of elements to what we do, but it all boils down to telling stories. And telling stories is what we're all about. So I'll just quickly run through what we're all about. And Jan, you can join me here. We have many more than just these top 5 things that you can do in communications and media technologies, but we'll just quickly run through sort of an overview of them. Starting with number 5, storytelling is what it's all about. Storytelling on phones, storytelling on live television programs and streaming shows, and telling stories all across social media, esports, everywhere. It's about the story. And because of that, we have, we place a lot of importance on hands-on. In the program, you get a camera the first day and you're shooting with a camera as soon as we start out. We would rather have you start shooting before you start learning the theory. So the hands-on part is all kinds of devices, and that means mobile, it means desktop computers, it means devices that you haven't even dreamed of yet. We'll get into VR and other stuff later, but it's every device. There are 4 advanced studios, much like this one, with green screens, desks. We do newscasts, we do live television shows, we do things like what you're about to see later tonight, competition programs, live production, pandemic or no pandemic, these studios are used, and you'll see how we do that. We're in the heart of Silicon Valley. By the way, when you walk out our door, and once this pandemic is over, you will walk out our door, you are within walking distance easily of places like Yelp, Facebook, Twitter. They're all within a few blocks of us, and many of our students work at these places. You get to know people when you go to cafes and restaurants in the area. You'll hear conversations by people who just went to work for a new startup, and that's the culture that surrounds us in the San Francisco Bay Area. Our number 4 is, it's all about jobs. Number 5 was storytelling, but number 4 is about work. We offer internships with all media, industry connections. All of our instructors, our faculty, everybody in the department is well connected in the industry, and that means the media industry, not just broadcasting. There's mentoring available and coaching for looking for work. When you go out to look for that first media job, we back you up. And we also follow you throughout your career. These are just a few of the places our graduates have worked. We track them. We know what people are looking for when they hire media professionals. We know how to conduct a job interview because we follow everybody and we find out what the current trends are, what they needed to do to get the job, and then we pass that information on to you. Counting down to number 1. Everything is produced by students. It's written by students, shot by students, distributed and streamed by students. This gets back to hands-on. And this is one example, our radio studio, consistently through the years on iHeartRadio, our Urban Nights Radio has ranked either number 1 or in the top 3 year after year, most listened to college stations. And students produce everything. They program it, they run the operation from top to bottom. There are also newscasts. We actually produce things that are aired on cable in the San Francisco Bay Area. Sports Night is just one of the programs. We do sports, we do news, we do all sorts of entertainment, game shows, as you're about to find out in just a moment. The streaming includes programs like this. All right, that's just one of the programs where people win, as Jan mentioned, real prizes. And then there are sports. We have baseball, we have basketball, we have volleyball, and our students stream live broadcasts of these programs, all of the sports. So you get to do sports play-by-play. We have a sports play-by-play program. We do sports, well, obviously during the pandemic, sports is kind of limited, but when it starts up again, you will be able to do right alongside the basketball court, live broadcasts. And oh, yes, number 2, we future-proof you because it's not just about television and broadcasting. It's about things like drone production. Our drone production class is run by one of the best professionals, one of the top pros in the country. He does things for and at the NFL Super Bowl. He does things for Major League Baseball teams. He is well respected, and he teaches hands-on with our own drones. Esports is big, as you know. It's huge. There's lots of money in esports, and our school holds tournaments, and our students do the play-by-play. This is one of our most popular programs. Steve Cotton can talk a little bit more about that. He built the esports studio, and our students participate not only in designing games, playing the games, covering them, we stream them, we do the audio, we do the lights, we do everything for esports streaming. And then, of course, our faculty. That's our number 1 pride. Everybody is a professional in the industry. Everybody actually works doing the things that they teach. And we have a wide variety of backgrounds for these instructors. This goes for social media, it's television broadcast, obviously, cable. We have faculty who have worked at every major media type of media, and they are both online and on site. And we certainly hope we go back on site soon. So it's all about storytelling, future-proofing, teaching the latest stuff, professional faculty who are all doing the latest stuff professionally. And we are recognized by people like Sony. This is we'll just give you a brief overview of this. Sony decided it was going to hold a contest last year for a new camera phone that they devised, and they actually gave out prizes of $10,000, $2,500. Our students participated from across the university, and they put together some pretty fantastic stuff that Sony is now using in its marketing. So our work, particularly video production, is recognized by major companies around the world. And they get to be on TV. Our students have been featured in these, among other television programs. Temptation Island, We have reporters working at major broadcast outlets. We have them working for major social media companies, but occasionally they get to be stars. So join us. Don't they look happy? You could be happy too. Here's some information. You can take a snapshot of this. We'll put this we'll put this in the chat in just a moment. So if you need to answer any questions about the actual production, the hands-on stuff we do, that's for us, for Jan, Steve, and me. But if you want to know anything else about the school, about registering, housing, any of that stuff, Hector will be able to answer your questions during this session. That program we're going to be talking about and showing live production is called Studio 79. That is the address. It's a very simple address, Studio 79, artu, that's us, .com. And the radio station we told you about, that's one of the most popular college radio stations in the country, urbannightsradio.com. What could be simpler? And the iHeart app on your phone also features it. So you can just listen in the iHeart app on a mobile device. And on Instagram, we are academyart.com. We're everywhere. We're on Facebook and Twitter and so on. But the best way to reach us on social, Instagram at academyart.com. Now I'll just turn things back over to Jan.
Okay. Thanks, Richard. That was a great overview. And because you showed a picture of a drone, class in drone, Brian is already asking about the drone class. And Brian, yes, we've got this great drone class. They meet every Saturday, and you start off with we call them baby drones, and you learn to fly. And then you learn to fly the larger drones. And we take you out in the field, actually, where you fly the drones. And Richard's done drones, and you actually can get your license, right, Richard?
Yes, we give you all the training you need to pass your exam. It's called Part 307, and it's an FAA program that authorizes you to fly a drone. But not only that, gives you knowledge about all of the restrictions, where you can and cannot fly. Basically, we make you a good citizen in the drone world and the world of aviation. So that's part of the program, but it's also a lot of fun.
It is. And our students have gone on to get jobs flying. They buy their own drones, they get jobs. And remember Joey Martini was hired to do this winery, to fly his drone to see how the winery was and all this kind of stuff. So it's an exciting new field that drone production is big these days in television, movies, firefighters use drones, police officers look for lost people with drones, insurance companies send drones into buildings. I mean, everybody's using drones now, even real estate agents. So there you go. We can take any question you have. We've got a quick video at the end of this program. This drone video will kind of get you nauseous, actually. I would just warn you.
Don't say that.
Okay, it's fun. Now, I just want to show you some of our live production. And Judy and I worked on just getting clips of the show. And it's called Studio 79, and the class voted on the name, and the class elects their own hosts and the judges on Studio 79. So I just wanted to let you know that everything, it's a capstone class, and it's kind of fun. So with that, Judy, I wonder if you can share the opening of the show. It's created by students, shot by students, created by students. Here we go, Studio 79.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Studio 79. I'm Vincent Lawrence.
I'm Ely. Thanks so much for joining us.
And I'm Ryan Gamboa, and we'd like to welcome you to the finals here at Studio 79. And tonight, we only have 3 finalists left, and only one of them will win the grand prize.
That's right, Ryan. And the winner of Studio 79 will win an all-expense-paid trip to audition at the talent show of their choice.
Yes, Vince. Whatever they choose, we will fly them there. We will put them in a hotel and, of course, cheer them on. They could choose to go to America's Got Talent, The Voice, or even American Idol.
All right, so now what we're going to show you, so that was kind of the open, and then we're going to show you 3 contestants. These are the finalists from, we've been going to this show for every week now, and now we're down to the 3 finalists. And tomorrow, the voting starts tonight, but tomorrow we'll reveal who the winner of an all-expense-paid trip to audition of the show of their choice will be. So I'll show you the 3 singers, and here they are. The first singer is Stormy Montana. She's a music major here at the university. She's getting her master's degree, and she's from Tennessee, and she shot her own video, by the way. So here's a clip of Stormy Montana.
Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? You've been out riding fences for so long now. Oh, you're a hard one, but I know that you got your reasons. These things that are pleasing you hurt you somehow.
Now that we've
So that was Stormy, and now you're going to see the judges' votes, and the judges are elected by their classmates, as are the hosts. This is Vince Lawrence right here, and he was elected by his classmates. So he's going to call for the judges' votes. Okay, Judy.
heard from everybody. Let's get to those iPad votes. Judges, hold up those iPads. All right, we got a yes from Austin. We've got a yes from Jamari. Jason liked it. And we've got a heart from Nate Massis. Let's go over to Cannon's vote. And he's got a heart as well. Thanks a lot, Cannon. We really appreciate that, all the way from St. George, Utah.
And because we're in this pandemic, students are all over the place. As you saw that Stormy is in Tennessee. Cannon Seacrest, who's a judge, he's in Salt Lake, in Utah, St. George, Utah, and he can participate on our show. So that's the beauty of what we do. We're trying to figure out technology. Let's use it. All right, so you've seen the judges' votes now. These are the judges' votes, and their votes count for 50% of the votes. Now the other 50% of the votes belongs to you, our audience at home. And here's Ryan Gamboa, one of the hosts. He's going to ask for the Zoom audience to hold up their votes. Here we go.
At home Zoom audience, welcome back and thanks for being here. Are you ready to vote for our first finalist tonight, Stormy Montana? Hold up those votes, audience. Oh, Claire McDermott says yes. My dad says yes. Michael Watkins says yes. Brad Hughes, Stormy's school director, says yes. Kevin says yes. And Derek Yanehiro says yes. Thank you so much, Zoom audience. We really appreciate all the support you've given Studio 79.
If you want to vote.
So now you're going to, so that's what we do. Everybody gets a vote. We count these votes. These are real votes. We count them. And then you're going to see what we're ask everybody, because this is all your generation. You can vote on social media. And so this is where Vince is going to ask you to go and vote on social media. So let's
For
see.
Stormy Montana, you could do so through our website at studio79ru.com and social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Studio79RU. Please vote and give your contestant a chance to win the grand prize.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you 2 more contestants, because I want you to vote tonight, by the way. You have until midnight tonight to vote for one of these 3 performers. And this is Megan Jefferson. She's a communication student. She's on the basketball team, women's basketball team. And boy, can she sing. Okay, here's a clip from Megan Jefferson.
I've been eating whipped cream, having vivid dreams of you facing through people on TV screens. You've been every way. Said I wish I didn't care. Oh, you've been everywhere. Wish I didn't care.
So now one more performer that I want you to watch. And again, his name is Kenderly Abissier. He's from Florida. He's singing with his friends. He's an acting student at our university. And again, because he's in Florida, he had to record himself, and then he can send his recordings to us and we will edit it together. So here's Kenderly Labissiere.
How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times that made us laugh, I'll win them back. I thought we get to see forever, but forever's gone away. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Okay, so if you want to vote for Kenderly tonight, midnight, we'll show you our website. So I just wanted to show you the 3 contestants so you can actually vote. And tonight, I'm going to ask Judy to share with us the website. I'll show you how you can vote because students created the website. Now, Ryan is going to give us this last thing, and we're going to show you the show credits. And the reason why I want to show you the show credits is that there's so many jobs that you can do and our students are doing to make this show work. And so if you can just roll those credits, Judy, we can show everybody here, there's so many jobs in production and in this class that you can actually do and get paid in real life. So here we are. Ryan's gonna take the show credits.
Zoom audience, are you ready to vote for our 3rd finalist tonight, Kenderly Labissiere? Please show us your votes.
Okay, here's one more.
Oh, we got no vote from Judy, but Carolyn says yes. Oh, Judy popped it up and said yes. Rob Garcia says yes. Coach Waterman says yes. Brad Hughes says yes. Kayla says, well, she switched it. I'll scratch her. Let's go to Crystal Evans. She says yes. And Michael Watkins says yes. It's been a great show tonight. We really appreciate you joining us once again. And we'll be right back here next week at Studio 79 for our grand finale. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, so there you have it. The show credits, the design of the show, the graphics, all done by students. So I wanted to show you all the jobs that students are doing. Now, we are social distancing, although we are on campus for doing parts of the show. But Steve Cotton, who is teaching the show with me, has produced a quick behind the scenes look at how we're producing this show. So I'm going to toss it to Steve to share with us. Steve?
All right, thanks, Jan. Welcome, everybody. I didn't get a chance to say welcome, but welcome to everyone who's come in from all over the country, have been answering some questions in the chat. Really nice to see the participation, and keep asking questions. That's what we're here for, to answer your questions tonight. So this class is a unique class. I think, as Jan has really pointed out, it's a culmination class. It's one that you take in your senior year. And it really culminates with all the things that you have been learning, all the skills that you've been learning all the way in your journey here, and you put it to use in this show. This show this year was unique because of the pandemic, but I want to give you a sense of how we did it and a little bit of taste of some of our facilities. I'm going to give you a quick little walk around tour of our studios. And first off, let's take a look here at, let's see, yes, there it is. We're inside our master control room. You can see Studio 79, and that's the big screen. And we're using the TriCaster system, which can have up to like 24 different cameras. And there's the switcher right there. That's Z, one of our tech assistants, but students operate that as well. This is one studio. This was the what I called Studio B, which was inside the auditorium that we had next door. And this is where the host talent. You can see we're socially distanced between the talent, about 12 feet apart. And inside the studio, we were also socially distanced with all the judges. The cameras were all locked down and just monitored on one single shot. And then everyone, were separated. And in between shots and before and after, everyone had to wear masks. And there's the judges getting ready for the show. I'm just walking around. You can see, and there's the other judge on the other side. And then way across on the other side of the stage, there's our jib that we have. And then we have another judge set up there. And then there's E. Lee, the other host, in her area. So everything was separated. And there we are, just about getting ready. And there's the executive producer going in and getting everybody ready and making sure that they're ready to go for the show. But it's quite a technical feat to do it on Zoom, because we're bringing in so many different elements from all over, from around the world. We've had not only the judges from St. George, Utah, but we've had a judge come in from Vietnam live. We've had the entertainers coming in from Nashville, from Florida, and those pieces are produced by the students. They get in touch with the artist, and then they say, yes, set the camera here, do it twice, do it a few times, giving them a lot of options, and then we get all that video back, and then we cut the performances together that you see on the show. So the students are producing everything. Not only the look, they came up with the name this semester of Studio 79. It was, they did all the graphics themselves. Everything was put together by the students. They designed sort of the whole foundation of the show and then put it together. And it's not only you were doing one show, we put it together and mold it in a process that takes place over 15 weeks. So by the end of the semester, they probably have done 8 or maybe even 10 shows on a semester. 10 live shows that are done on time and streamed. So you learn the discipline of producing a show week in, week out. This is not just one time you do it as a final project. By the time you're done with this class, you really understand what high-end television professional production is all about. And that could be applied to whether you're doing sports broadcasting, entertainment broadcasting like this, streaming your own shows. You get to learn it all here at the Academy of Art. And so, this is a great example. This show is a wonderful example of the kinds of things that we do here. And it all is based on learning how to edit when you start, learning how to shoot, learning how to tell a story all the way along, so that we give you more and more responsibilities, and every semester you do something a little more challenging and a little more challenging until you get to your senior year, when you can do shows like this. And we do other shows. We do like a live take on the Chinese New Year parade. Did you know that in San Francisco, we have the largest Chinese New Year's parade outside of China? And so it attracts like 1 million people to it. So we do a live to tape show on the streets of San Francisco about that parade every year. And we get a number of students to, volunteer. We get a dozen or 2 dozen students. They produce all the roles. They're the hosts. They produce the backstories. They produce all the things that are required of that show. So Richard said it early on. It's all about hands-on. Hands-on, and then having the instructors who have been in the business and know the business, like Jan and Richard and all the other instructors that we have, who have real hands-on professional experience that can help guide you and build your foundational skills so you could do shows like this, and then you're ready for the real world. And the real world is full of jobs. I think in comm and communications, it's probably the richest job market for an artist. There are so many positions out there, whether you're doing live broadcast TV or whether or not you're working for a corporation that has to do in-house marketing and media. So there are, and social management as well.
And a lot of our students have gone to Salesforce.
Yeah.
And they make buku money, lots of
Yeah.
money. So before we get off of studies, I see a lot of great questions. Bring them on, everybody, bring them on.
Yeah.
We also teach a game show class in the spring. Our students create game shows. And again, it's about production, it's about shooting, it's about coming up with a concept, and it's about hosting. Now I want to show you that in this class, Studio 79, the students had to create a website. And I'm going to ask Judy, can you share the website, and we'll show how you can vote on this website. So Judy, will you share the website, please? Here we go. So Judy's going to share this website. Here's the Studio 79 website. And then first we can do our judges. Can you start with our judges? And they had to create this. Here are the judges, and the judges had to write a little bit about each themselves. So here are our judges you see, and then the hosts. Here are our hosts. Bring it up. These are our hosts. You saw the 3 hosts. Vince wasn't there, but here we have Adrian, Eve, Ryan, and there you are. And then we have a lot of pictures. Let's see the photos, behind the scenes pictures. Here we go. Lots of behind the scenes pictures, everybody wearing a mask. Again, the cameras, people are dressed up. We try to social distance again through this. And here I am talking to my Zoom audience. You are master control. And here's Adrian getting ready to do his part. And you can see we've lit him from the back. I know he's smiling beneath that mask. He is smiling. And Ryan studying his script right here. And so here's Austin, one of the judges, and they go into the class using their phones because, they're sitting in the studio. So they have to go into the class using their phones. And so anyway, this is sort of the behind the scenes look at some of our students in the class. Here's E. Lee getting ready. She's got her own phone and she's practicing her lines. Here's Adrian again. And then here is where you vote. So let's go to where you can actually vote. Okay, so, and you can do this tonight, everybody. You saw the 3 performers, Stormy, Kenderly, and Megan Jefferson. And right here, who is your favorite contestant? And then, so I'm going to ask Judy to actually vote. Judy, who would you like to vote for? That person. Okay, Kenderly Labissiere, she's voting, and she's going to hit the vote button. Okay. There you go, received. Thank you. It works. There you go. So I just wanted to let you know that that's how it all works. So you're in with us in this class, but you're doing every single part of what, real life is done. I mean, social media, websites, voting, and all votes are clearly received. Just want to say. And, we have everything for you here and the cameras and everything. So that's just one of the live productions that we do. And, we can take questions here. Richard and Steve and I, glad to take some of your questions. They're asking about voiceover. Richard, you want to take that question?
Yeah, somebody asked what is voiceover or voice production. Voice is very important in all areas of media, particularly obviously with broadcasting. If you're on camera and hosting, you got to know how to talk, but it's also very important in radio and podcasting. Podcasting, as you know, everyone knows, is just huge today. There's a huge market still, by the way, open in podcasting, because about 80% of Americans, according to the latest data from Nielsen, have not listened to a podcast yet. Among those people who are listening to them, they are really a big market for advertisers, and people make money doing podcasts. But voice training is important to do a proper podcast. There is narration for documentaries. Obviously, if you're going to be hearing a voice while you're watching a video presentation, either a documentary or news story or whatever, there's somebody reading the script. And the other thing is, many students asked about acting in video games. Video game characters need, and Steve can tell you about this, the characters in video games are real people. Those aren't synthesized voices. And we have a couple of students who, after graduation, have done weird characters in video games, and they get paid for that. So voices, I mean, there's a long list of things that are important in voice, and we spread them around to different classes. Mostly we have on-camera presentation classes, and those hosting classes emphasize voice, but there is also, obviously, in radio and podcasting, but we also hold workshops in voiceovers, and the workshops are one-on-one coaching to help you become better in expressing yourself using your own voice. Voice is spread throughout all of our classes.
Thank you, Richard. You mentioned Urban Nights Radio and podcasting, and we're going to have a seminar on that in January. But just for fun, we do, as Richard and Steve mentioned, we have a radio station called urbannightsradio.com. This is your student radio station. And I wonder if, Judy, you can share the website, because you can listen to this station 24/7. Here we go.
Cause you say it with your eyes. We can hang out for the weekend.
So urbannightsradio.com, you can just go urbannightsradio.com. You can listen to this. And also, if you go to Alexa, and I think if you hit that button, Joe Stone, remember, talks about Alexa. He'll say, play Urban Nights Radio.
This is so cool.
Yes. Alexa, play Urban Nights Radio, and she will. We may be having
Alexa,
some.
play some music.
Playing jazz piano music on Amazon Music.
Alexa, where can I find good music?
The best music is on Urban Nights Radio, the sound of artists.
Alexa, play Urban Nights Radio.
Getting Urban Nights radio station from iHeartRadio.
So, yes, we are on Alexa. Well, if you ask Alexa, play Urban Nights Radio, she will. And that is your college radio station. It's programmed by students, and the students produce the kind of music they want. They also have podcasting too. So next month in January 12th, we're going to have a whole session on podcasting and Urban Nights Radio, because it's big. Every one of our students take the podcasting class, and we have some great podcasts from our students, really wonderful podcasts. So I just want to talk about, Richard, you talked about jobs. Where would you say more people are hiring our students now? What would you say, Richard, Steve?
It changes through the years. A few years ago, students would get hired at television stations and cable networks and NBC Sports, for example. But in the last couple of years, many, many more of our students have gotten hired by social media firms. And social media is not just something that you tap out on your phone. It's not just tweets and Instagrams. Social media production involves video production. And there was a recent piece in the New York Times looking at the job market for people doing video production that said there are not enough people to produce branding videos for corporations. Mm-hmm. If you're a winery or a flower shop, you need a branding video. If you sell cars, you need a branding video. And apparently there aren't enough college graduates to get money to make branding videos. So those are just well, and I put that in the category of social media, because social media marketing is about branding videos. You're not going to see them on TV. You're going to see them on TikTok. You're going to see them on Instagram, and that's where the jobs are, in the social media platforms that require that you know about audio and video.
That's right.
And those are coming from those companies that are all starting up in this area. This is a job-rich area in terms of the startups, and they all need social media. They all need marketing, and so this is a really great place when you graduate to find and look for jobs, because it's a job-rich area. But any place around the country, even if you're going online. I mean, just think about it. Every major corporation has a social media department now, and they have in-house, corporate marketing media that they produce. You get the skills here to just walk right in the door in all of those places. I mean, as I said before, I think communications is a very job-rich marketplace right now. And just think about it. What we're doing right now today, we're streaming. The ability to stream, the ability to understand the technology of that, the understanding of putting story to just an average Zoom, conversation, and in a podcast and all those things, you're going to be streaming more and more. So why don't you want to learn the skills that make you look good on camera, that make you sound good on camera, and that the pictures that you create and the stories you create are compelling? And so it's a win-win in many ways here.
And even during this pandemic, a lot of our students have been hired. Remember, Tara Cooley got 2 job offers to do social media. Within a couple of weeks, she applied. She got 2 jobs, and she's working out with one of them. And it's amazing that social media is huge in every department. She got a job with a real estate company to do social media. And Taylor, her boyfriend, got a job doing social media for a hotel group. And he said, I'm just going to try. But he's having more fun with this hotel group because they were, before the pandemic, flying him all over the place to do bike races and different things that the hotel was doing, he could put on social media. The good news about what we show you here is that everybody can shoot and edit and produce, and that's what companies want. They want you to do tiny videos and put it up on social media. So social media is huge, and the technical knowledge is huge. How to run a camera, how to stream, how to do this. We now have 3 students at Salesforce.com. They're making 6 figures. They should hire us, and they're doing. They're doing everything about streaming video live and, doing interviews across the pond. But that's what they're doing. And they're having a blast. Joey Marchini, Champagne just went with them, remember?
Yeah.
Early on, we had Jason go with them. He was in our master's program. So we're so proud of these folks.
Yeah. We have students all around the world that are working in this business. I had a student come back this summer who kind of knocked on my door, and he was from Taiwan. He went back to Taiwan, and he got a job with the International Society of Woodworkers. Now, it's a little company, a little organization in Taiwan, but his job was to go around the world and shoot documentaries about people who worked with wood. And he came back because he was on in between flights going on his way to Mexico for another story. And he just said, Steve, I'm living my dream. I have a small crew. We travel around the world. I do these marvelous documentaries with really great people. I take it back and I spend a lot of time editing and crafting the stories. He said, I'm living my dream. And he's just enjoying himself making and telling stories in a place, you wouldn't have thought, about woodworkers. But it's a, being a storyteller is an honored profession, and we give you those skills to be a good storyteller. I like to say that we're creating the 21st century media ninjas that can work anywhere in the communications business around the world, and we've proved it. We have them all around the world, and it's really a joy when they come back and share it. And we bring them back. We have events where we bring back alumni to talk to the students, to say, hey, listen to what these people are saying because I'm working here and doing this, and you should be studying this because that's what's needed right now. That's what we really, more so than I think other schools, we're up to date with what's going on in the industry now. What are the trends? What's happening with it? And that we can guide our programming to help, rather than having stale classes. Our classes are constantly being updated to reflect the newer technology and the new delivery systems that we have today. As in this business, in communications, the changes happen overnight. Wouldn't you say, Richard? They're just happening all the time.
They just happened a minute ago.
Yes.
While we're talking here. And Jan had mentioned, we had talked about where the jobs are for our students these days. Jan had mentioned earlier drones. There is a market for people. Not a lot of people are experienced and have their certificates for drone production yet. So there are jobs going unfilled because there aren't enough people with the production skills on a drone.
It's not only the skills, but it is the ticket. You said I think it's the 107 is the ticket, isn't it? The FAA 107?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Part 107. Yeah.
Part 107. And that allows you to make money. You can't legally make money with your drone unless you have a 107 ticket. So it's real important. So if you buy a drone and somebody catches you outside doing something and you say, well, I'm doing it for money or for hire, that's even a worse offense. So having the 107 ticket basically allows you, because then you understand the flight rules, you know the good safety practices when using a drone. And our class is taught by Roger Apolinar, by the way. You were looking for his name earlier. And by the way, one of his credits recently, you said the NFL, he just worked on the Matrix movie, the new Matrix 4 movie coming out. They were shooting here in the Bay Area. They had a whole number of scenes, and he was the drone operator for a number of scenes for that movie coming up. So Roger...
And that could be your instructor.
That's right. That could be your instructor, someone who's got that.
Roger and drone. We've got a quick 50-second drone video.
Oh, yeah, show that. That'll make everybody... Okay, hold on to something, everybody.
So, Judy, can you share it? That's
wow.
a drone video.
Yeah.
And I love the shot when the drone goes over the building.
Off the building, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I have queued up, if we have time, I have queued up a 15-second shot that Roger just completed.
Okay, let's see it.
It's an amazing, I'll set it up. It's a closing shot for a longer, get ready for this, branding video. Okay, so branding videos are hot, and this is just like the last 15 seconds of his here. And I'm going to make sure I optimize for sharing video this time. All right. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that Roger does.
Mm-hmm. So what you would pay to do that, Richard? I take it.
Yeah. Occasionally on his professional jobs, he makes use of student help. Yeah, so he encourages students along the way, not just to show them how to fly and how to shoot and how to edit with drone footage, but how to get a job with a drone.
Yeah. Jan, I also have remember the student who won the Red Bull contest with the Zoom with the drone? Oh, I don't know. Did I?
Austin Esposito.
Yeah, Austin Esposito.
Show that.
Yeah, I think I'll show that right now.
Okay. This is a drone video that Austin did. So this is the crookedest street in San Francisco, Lombard Street.
No, crookedest street in the world.
In the world, okay, in the world. And we usually have audio on this.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the audio. Apologize.
And there, the skateboarder goes all the way down, and then the drone will go off into the city. Just a second.
And this street is also in walking distance from our studios.
You can walk down the street. That's correct.
Yeah.
And here we are, the city of San Francisco. So Austin won the Red Bull contest with that drone video that he shot like at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, he said he shot it 3 times at 6 o'clock in the morning on the streets of San Francisco.
To make it look good. And anyway, he won. And so those are kind of the fun things that, our students do. Somebody on this, and I wanted to make clear, because we're working and teaching virtually, the drone class is being taught virtually. So we have students, Umbrella takes it in France, and she's doing a good job. She's taking the drone production class from France, and we have some students here in San Francisco. And if you're in San Francisco nearby, we have a student driving up 2 hours on a Saturday, not coming every Saturday, just to do some demos. So we're going to work with every student now that we're in these special times. So I saw that somebody asked if they can take it virtually. And yes, this semester, the course is being offered virtually. The drone production class is being offered virtually. Coming up to the hour, and before we go, I wanted to make sure that Steve, you had a couple more videos, remember?
Oh yeah, I do. I have a couple videos that we were working on in our graduate level classes. We do a class that basically we do projects for nonprofit organizations. We've done them for Habitat for Humanity, the local food banks, number of different organizations. This semester, again, because of COVID, we turned it inside, and we're doing sort of antivirus spots and public service announcements that we could put on the monitors all around the campus. And so the students in this particular class were charged to create these new and different little pieces and warnings about wearing your mask and washing your hands and being socially distant. And they came up with some creative things, and I have a couple of them I would love to show you. Here is wear your mask is, okay, this one, we have a character, his name is Artie. You'll see Artie. Artie represents the university on that. Okay.
No, no, no. Wear your mask correctly. Great.
Very cute, Steve. Very cute. Wait, audio, Steve, audio.
Sorry about that. I mute so you get the good clean audio there. But yes, that's very, very cute. Do you want to see another one?
Yeah, let's show one more, because I know you said you had a couple of them.
Yeah, this one is interesting. This was from a student who is taking our virtual course from Brazil.
That was cute. And Steve, didn't you mention that it was her family member?
Yes, she got all her family members together to be the extras in the mall in order to make that happen. And I think it's her dad where the virus goes into the mouth.
Yes. So
Everybody who takes our courses eventually ends up enlisting family members.
Oh,
And
absolutely, absolutely.
you will too. Make your mom happy.
And that's a motion graphics class that we also teach in our program. Motion graphics is important, editing, social media is important, storytelling is important, being on camera is important. And Richard, you do a lot of branding too in 202.
Yeah, and somebody just asked a question in chat about, well, a couple of things I want to mention here. I mean, I typed a chat response, but I want to talk a little bit more about it. The motion graphics class. Somebody asked about storyboarding. Our motion graphics classes make extensive use of storyboarding. One of the homework assignments in the third week is to draw a storyboard of your final project. So storyboards, yeah, the short answer, yes, we do teach storyboarding. And somebody else asked about a microphone. Steve has a collection of microphones on his desk. He could open a museum, so he knows a lot about all kinds of microphones, but there is something that I want to warn you, do not buy a microphone without testing them out. You're not required to come to our department with your own camera and your own microphone. As a matter of fact, don't do that. It's a waste of money to start out. But everybody has a magic microphone that makes you sound better than any other microphone does.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to do audio podcasting, that's a certain kind of mic. If you're trying to do like on-screen video, might be a wireless mic with the lavalier. It's different microphones for different tasks. So I think if you specify that, you say go into Guitar Center and testing every single mic there, yes. Yeah, you could test them out. It took you a while, Richard, to find the mic that fits you, didn't it?
Yeah, I noticed somebody in chat while you were talking, Steve, just asked, I have a USB microphone, is that okay? That's sort of like asking how big is a fish? It depends. There are really good USB microphones, but we use, our studios, we use professional, wait for it, XLR.
That's the connector, XLR. But USB, if you're doing podcasting and you're doing streaming, the USB microphones are becoming more and more, known and seen in the marketplace. And the blue microphones, the Blue Yetis, and there's some really nice microphones in the USB marketplace. And you'll find now some of the big manufacturers are doing versions of their microphones that are USB and XLR. So they have the output on both. So, check them out. But you're right. You want to find a microphone that fits your voice. If you're doing rock and roll music, I'd say go for the SM58, the Shure SM58. You got to get really close to it, and it's a dynamic mic, and that's what all rock and rollers use for their vocal mics. And because it'll reject the guitars and all the other noise that's around, it'll just get your voice. And so that's what they use on stage for that. If you're not going to be in that kind of environment, then that's not the right microphone for you. But if you're going to be a rock and roller or musician type person, that might be the microphone. Plus, it's a heavy duty mic. You can pound nails with it.
Oh, well, there you go.
I mean, it's one of those built to be on rock and roll stages kind of microphone.
So in our podcasting class and when we have our radio class, we will recommend specific microphones for you to use. And, I've got one right here. So, don't worry. We will help you find the right microphone, find the right hard drive, find the right drone. We will recommend all of that for you. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then people are very excited about the drone class, and, it is an exciting field, no question about it.
Yeah, and it's an elective that you could take from other majors as well, right, Jan? I mean, it's listed in a number of places so that you could take it as an elective.
Right. So somebody did ask, can any person take it? Yes. The class is open to all majors, and you can take it at any time. It only runs on Saturdays because Roger Apollinar has a real job.
Yeah, he's working
the rest of the week. So
As all of our instructors, yeah.
Yeah.
right, exactly. So we're really glad that people are working in different industries, but again, the people we have teaching you will have firsthand knowledge of what they're teaching you. So with that, we're really proud of our faculty. I can see some people I know, Richie and I, we've been on for an hour.
Yeah, I know.
People are leaving. Bye, George.
Bye, George.
I can see you leaving, but thank you for joining.
Or Carter's leaving, yes.
Thank you
Yes, if all you're doing is talking, USB mic is just fine. If you're doing something that's on set, I'm seeing your chat thing there. You say you tried to get the XLR version. Yes, I mean, it depends. It depends on what system you're building, George. We should talk about it. What are you building on your desktop in order to, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to do podcasting? Because once you start down the road with that connection, and that sort of dictates the next other bits of equipment, like a mixer, a recorder, etc., all the other things that you have to get in the chain.
Okay. Before we turn it back to Hector, any other things that we want to share, Richard, Steve, with our potential fabulous students? What do we think?
They're fabulous because they're all asking good questions. Venus just asked, is motion graphics is the same as animation, isn't it? Well, no, actually it's not.
Yeah.
There
are similar attributes, but yeah.
Yeah. One of the things our students do in one class, it's not an entire class or a course, but in one of our classes, students do interactive animation. And that's different from animation for movies and for video because you get to touch something and drag it around a screen, a phone screen. That's different from, Pixar doesn't do that. So interactive animation is its own field. Motion graphics generally incorporates real life video in it. And you get a little bit of all of that in our program.
And infographics today, informational graphics, is a really hot field. So if you are really into graphics, and add motion graphics to it and be able to tell a story by using graphics only and sounds, those people are really rare and well paid. And if you are very good at your craft, you can immediately find work. But every major publisher is looking for people like you.
Now, Kendall is asking, does the school provide, now that depends on what the question is, does the school provide the drone or do you have to bring your own? Well, the school does provide a drone, but the profession, by the way, you get to fly professional, very expensive drones as part of the class, but you don't get to keep that one.
No.
Yes, you will get a little, we call them the baby drones. And, so we'll send you a list of drones that we think will work.
Yeah.
Because if you're working virtually, or you're taking a class virtually, then you get to buy your own drones, and we give you a whole list of different ones, and they're not inexpensive.
Very inexpensive drone. Because what we wanted to do is teach you the skills of flight, understand how to fly this little creature, and so you get to know how to do it. And in fact, one of the quizzes in the midterm is you have to fly through an obstacle course in a certain amount of time, going under things, over things, and being able to maneuver. Because once you have mastered that skill, now we can move you up to the real higher end professional drones. And then we have several levels of that. So in the virtual classes and the on-site classes, you get an opportunity, but you have to learn on that first little basic drone that you purchase, and we give you a list of the ones. It's sort of like buying a book for a class. Well, you're going to buy a drone for this class, and it's going to be a small one, and that'll teach you the basics. And then you move up from there.
And we do have professional drones, but Richard is right. You don't get to keep those.
Yeah.
So,
unless you crash it, then you have to pay for it.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, I have some questions for you three, if possible.
Oh, absolutely. Bring them on, Hector.
Okay, so I don't know who wants to step up to the plate here, but there's 14 students out there right now. One thing that I was asking people, did you apply yet? They're like, well, I'm looking at the school. I'm trying to kind of make my decision. One thing I noticed with students is that they look at these schools, they look at different options, and there's still a lot of anxiety of, am I choosing the right career path? Is this school going to help get me there? Am I making the right decision? So any one of you that wants to step to the plate with this, what helped motivate you to not think of this as like a dream, but something you can work towards to make a career? Like, what gave you that push to say, I'm going to follow my heart and move forward with something I'm actually excited about?
Well, that's an easy one for me. I mean, my background's in journalism, but I would tell you, when I wanted to be a television reporter, television anchor, simply nobody who looked like me was on television. So nobody wanted to hire somebody like myself. But I want to tell all the students, you got to persevere. You just cannot take no for an answer. You've got to keep going. You've got to persevere, because you have the talent and the skills, and you should get hired. And why shouldn't it be you? And, you know, that's how I always felt. I mean, it was years before I got on television, but I was writing for paper. I was doing radio reports and radio reporting. So you can keep yourself going, and you just got to believe that it will be you. So Steve, Richard, what do you think?
Yeah, it is follow your dream in a lot of ways, because you get a lot of downstream pressure from adults and grandparents and people saying you should be a doctor or you should be this. But if deep down inside you're a storyteller or you want to do that, I think you're young. You should make that attempt and see what it's like. Learn the foundational skills, you know, get those skills so that you can move forward and be a professional in it. I mean, I've said it before, I think this is a job-rich area, and maybe your dream is to be in front of the camera, but maybe you find being behind the camera and being a producer and a director or a cinematographer is much better. You know, you get more, you know, excitement from that. So this is a field in communication that has such a wide spectrum of jobs in so many different areas that I think you could find a niche in just about anything. And if you're passionate about it, if you're a passionate storyteller or someone who really wants to convey information to a lens and to people and to make a difference, this is really the area that you should be looking at. And I can't think of another school, because we're all about hands-on, and we're about not just now, but what's going to happen to you in the future when you walk out the doors. And we have a really great alumni organization, and we care about the people who come through here. We have a nice small community in our school, and we treat everyone. Our doors are open. Jan and our office doors, Richard, the doors are open. Come knock on the door. Let me show you my latest work. Let me, hey, I'm having an editing issue. What's going on? We're there to help you and to guide you and to move you into that direction. So you got to make that decision on yourself.
Today
Richard.
I was talking to a baseball student, and he wants to play professional baseball. I said, you go. But a fallback is the MLB has hired 4 of our students. This is the Major League Baseball Department for our students, because our students can shoot and edit and produce and do social media. So, that's a fallback for him. But, back in our day, there's no MLB. But now we've got the MLB, the NBA, the NFL.
Yeah.
In fact, we had that one student who was with the Coast Guard, now working for, I think, the 49ers or something.
49ers, yeah. And esports is another huge area that's growing. A huge area. It was nothing 2 years ago. So if you're into gaming at all, why not think about the communications of gaming? There's going to be whole networks that are going to be born to cover that. This is going to be as popular as, it's already as popular as the NBA. If you look at the viewership numbers, the only thing that beats it is the NFL, and it's going to overtake the NFL in a couple of years. So you're going to see all these networks and all these, communications industries growing up around it. Every team's going to have someone who's going to do in-house media for that. So again, if your passion is gaming, but maybe I'm not going to be a game designer, but maybe I could be a game communicator in some way. Again, all these different areas. If you have a passion in something, there is probably an avenue, a digital publication that's out there in cars, or whatever you are passionate of. There is an area in there in communications.
Yeah. So I want to say, Lauren Graham, believe it, you can do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be cheering for you, Lauren Graham. So Richard.
And we have a great illustration department. I see you've been drawing. So the visual development and illustration is top notch. I mean, every one of the departments here is top notch. I mean, we have 25 different schools, and we're the directors of this department, but the directors in all the other departments are as passionate as we are about their art and their craft. And so, you know, you can't go wrong in a university like this.
So Richard, what to sum up about, you know, programs and jobs, what would you say to its students?
Well, I just want to tell Lauren Graham that Gilmore Girls was one of my favorite television shows. And speaking of, well, Hector's question was what motivated you to do what you chose to do? And I really have never chosen any particular thing to do. I like to do everything. And in that regard, I want you all to think about this tonight and tomorrow. The university has an animation department, and you could register, you know, you could sign up there and become an animator, or you could become a photographer by majoring in photography, or you could become a videographer by signing up in motion pictures and television, and I could go on. And we have a gaming department. But think about it. Communications and Media Technologies does all of the above. It checks off all the boxes. You learn video gaming, you learn video game streaming, you learn how to operate a camera and a microphone properly. You also learn illustration. By the way, as part of your student kit when you register, the Adobe Suite, don't forget about that. Adobe has a program called Illustrator. Well, we have a school that's called Illustration. But our department, COM, teaches you how to illustrate with Illustrator. It teaches you how to animate with Adobe After Effects. It teaches you how to edit video with Adobe Premiere. So in the COM program, you don't miss out on anything.
Hector, any other questions you want us to answer? We're trying to see in the chat too about to try to answer as many questions as we possibly can.
Well, this really wasn't a specific question from a student. I feel like I'm just speaking on behalf of the students, just from, you know, traveling and meeting a lot of people. I know that a lot of times there's really just that fear of like, what's my first step and how do I get into this and what kind of out there. So, you know, I think a lot of us sometimes when we're young, we're programmed to do something that we know is safe, like be an engineer, you should be a doctor. But I just tell students all the time, if it's something you're passionate about, it's your opportunity to do something that you're going to love, and it really just doesn't feel like work anymore, you know.
One of the issues that, I mean, an advantage to COM that we haven't spoken about is the minor. In COM, you can major in communications and minor in photography, or you can minor in illustration, or you can minor in acting, you can minor in motion pictures. COM is unique because our BA program allows you to minor in another subject. So you take, how many courses is it? Is it 15 units, Jan?
It's 120 units altogether.
But for the minor, is it 40?
Yeah, 5 classes in that minor.
In that minor, that's 15 units, yes.
And we're the only school of communication media, that you can have a minor.
And we think that's important because to be in communications, as Richard was stating, you have to be a curious person because you're interested in all things because you want to tell stories about everything. I'm just like Richard. I mean, I'm curious about everything. And that's a, you know, that passion takes me in all directions. And the minor is a great way to do it. You could be a communicator, learn all those storytelling skills, and then minor in something else, in another industry that you're passionate about.
So today I was talking to Victor Carranza, and he was a basketball player. Now he's playing basketball in Spain, which is his homeland. He majored in communications and minored in photography. And he's saying both come in really handy. He shoots himself playing the guitar, and he's taking pictures, you know, all around Spain where he's playing basketball. So that's what he majored in. Majored with us, minored in photography.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you can do that. Minor in any department you want. A lot of our students take us and minor in acting. A lot of students minor in fashion.
Advertising too, yeah.
Advertising.
And you know, photography is big. So yes, a lot of great minors that you can do in our school. So absolutely. What other questions?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. We have I think I interpret this question correctly. Lauren is asking, is minoring in something only for undergrads, or can graduate students minor in something?
No, I think it's only in the undergrad.
undergrads.
Only in undergrad.
Okay.
It's not something in grad.
Because
Darn it.
our master's program is a very quick.
Yeah, it's a very quick
36
program.
unit program. 36 units you can get done in 2 years.
Yeah.
36 units done in 2 years. So our undergraduate program is 120 units you can get done in 4 years
Yeah.
with a minor. So just wanted to make sure that.
Yeah.
And now here's a student. Is it Kenya? She wants to.
Kenya.
Kenya. She wants to work with companies like Disney and ZAG Studios. What would you say to that, Richard? Do it. No, come on, I would say.
Yeah, it sounds as though if you're saying Disney, we have students who have done work for Disney, and Disney, of course, is a company that doesn't just do animated cartoons or animated features. It also does ESPN and lots of video.
Mm-hmm.
But since you mentioned ZAG, that sounds to me as though you kind of want to work in the video game business too. So ZAG is, if you want to do, if you really, really think video games is my career, I want to design characters for video games, I want to program video games, then
COM is not for you, but the game design department is for you, because that's a great team over there. Very popular, and they're putting out some great people making some great games who are working at Disney and are working at EA and Sony and all of them. Riot Games, everywhere. They have a lot of students working in the game industry. So
Game development is a
game
great
development
headed by David Goodwine. Absolutely. And Hector can help you with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what else? What other tidbits of information we want to leave with?
What? Any other nuggets? Someone?
Richard, any last words of advice here?
The words of wisdom, right? So I guess maybe I'll come up with one more question for you all.
Okay.
So,
but look what Richard has posed to Lauren. I want to see what Lauren says, Richard. Okay, go.
Probably Mario.
So we know that we have a great program. There's a lot of options. So what advice would you give students? What advice would you give students that are kind of on the fence with, should I go to school for this? Do I need to go to school for this? Do I need a portfolio? What advice would you give them to try to get their foot in the industry?
Well, I think one of the greatest advantages of going to any university, especially our department, is the people you meet, the people you work with, the instructors. It's about networking. Now, you could go on YouTube and just watch a lot of YouTube videos. I know a lot of people think, I don't need to go to college, I can just watch the YouTube videos. You don't meet any people that way. And the way you get ahead in the business and the way you get jobs is who you know, who you're pals with, who you've worked with.
And think about the professional instructors that you're being taught by, who are working in the business. Now, if you impress them and they go back to their job and say, we're looking for an intern or looking for a young person, to do this entry-level position, don't you think that person's going to recommend you or go, help you along the way? Again, it's who you know in the business. And we also have great internship programs that give you a little taste of the job. We have arrangements with every major television station in town and radio stations in town and production companies and social media companies, so that we can put people into various spots as an internship. So one semester, you're getting real hands-on experience in that industry. And I think that's also a tremendous advantage to a program like this, is to get that, close-up, hands-on, right to the minute information.
And
I think we just took an informal poll here, and most of the attendees here say Mario.
Mario, yeah.
Mario 64 changed video.
Mario
Animal
64.
Crossing is too new. Yeah.
Animal Crossing is that's pretty cool, though. Animal Crossing, the Valentino and Mark Jacobs are now designing clothing for the Animal Crossing characters.
Yeah.
Video games are huge. My son-in-law runs 100 Thieves this year. So I'm partial to 100 Thieves. They just won by Valorant. So, but long story short, people will hire you because of who you know and they know. our students connect with each other and they hire each other. You know,
Mhm.
Joey hired Champagne, for
Mhm.
instance, and that's how it happens. Our instructors will recommend. I have recommended people,
Mm.
and I recommended Ryan Gamboa to work in Redding, California at this station, and he got the job. Steve, you just recommended Amy Smith to work at KRON
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you knew the chief engineer there. He
Yeah.
asked you, who would you recommend?
Yeah.
You recommended Amy Smith. Amy Smith is a veteran, 11-year veteran of the Navy. She came and got her degree with us. Steve recommended her for this job at KRON TV. She is there now.
Yeah.
Second week.
And Jason, let's not forget Jason Yee has hired students.
Yeah. Jason Yee, who left our master's program, and he's
The
hiring
students
a lot of people.
hire other students.
Yeah, they know. They come straight back to the source and say, "Hey, who do you have? Who's good? Who's up and coming that I can groom for my position here?" So
And Maddie Stout, podcast guru.
yeah,
He's the founder of Urban Nights Radio. He's hired 5 students in his new company.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Anthony Silva, he hired Joe Stone, who we saw in the Alexa thing. He's hired 5 students to work with him right now as we speak. So, our own
one of the essential benefits of attending something like most school, but particularly our school, is the people you get to know, the students you get to work with, and colleagues who will remain your professional friends for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
We encourage that, and we have, as Steve mentioned, students come back all the time to talk to other students.
Yeah.
That's not a class, it's not part of the curriculum, but boy, it's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I would tell you, we're the 3 of us, I hope you can tell, we have a lot of fun in our department.
Yeah.
Communications and media. We get us all the time to do some crazy recommendations. I was just asked by a fellow, she was a former reporter in San Francisco. She emailed me one and she goes, "Jan, I'm looking for this special person to do this and this and this, to do a commercial." I recommended Brandon Beach.
Oh yeah.
Remember he was a DJ?
Yeah.
We hired him for the job.
Oh,
And
great.
so he texted me, he says, "Anytime you want to recommend me for a commercial, Jan, just do it." I mean, we get asked random things about recommendations and do this and do that. And we can do it. And I was so happy that he booked the job, got paid. I mean, and so he just emailed me, "Any other jobs you want me to do, Jan?" I said, it was a random thing. She wanted somebody for this commercial. But anyway, so there you have it. Keep the faith, everybody. Keep the faith. Believe in yourself.
Before we go, I just want to say I went to the Studio 79 website, but I couldn't find a way to vote for Kenderly's backup singers.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, somebody wants to vote for the Muvik crew.
The Muvik crew, yeah.
So yes.
They're great. They were great.
Yeah.
So everybody go vote. You have until midnight tonight. And we'll see you hopefully come by and visit. Talk to Hector now. Don't anybody leave. You talk to Hector. We want to thank you for being here with us. I want to thank Richard. I want to thank Steve. It's been just fun for us to do this. So with that, Hector, we're going to toss it to you. Hector.
All right.
By the way,
everybody. Thank you all so much for your time tonight. I mean, it's awesome to see all these really cool examples and, what everybody's doing out there. And my hat's off to you all too, by just able to adjust during COVID and to, bring these students together. So I know it means a lot to the students. It means a lot to the school. So thank you all so much for being creative and being able to problem solve really quickly. So hey, everybody out there, all the students remaining, these are going to be the key next steps here. So the first thing is, let's thank our wonderful hosts here tonight and presenters in the chat. If you guys don't mind, big shout out to Richard, big shout out to Steve, big shout out to Jan. Remember, Richard is a black belt, so if you don't think, might be some issues. So, and on a serious note too, thank you all for taking your time just to learn a little bit more about this program, learn more about the Academy. Your first step at this point is this. I'm definitely going to offer my time to anybody out there that's looking to explore the school. I can promise you this. If the school is right for you, great. If it's not, it's okay. I'm still willing to take the time to try to help you. what I like to do is sit down and have a discussion with each student to talk more about what their interests are, what are their career goals, and try to at least put them on track to get the right advice to take the first step and go in that direction. Sometimes we talk to students and they choose to go to a different school or a different path or a different major, just whatever it is. But if I can at least help you out by having a good conversation and walking you through what those steps are. I know a lot of times students even get hung up on how the financial aid process works. Believe it or not, I present financial aid all over the country all the time. So I'm more than happy to at least help you to get some advice for college. What I'm going to ask you to do, though, is take my email down. I just put it in there. It's hverdugo@academyart.edu. Please, if you have the time, send me an email tonight if you can. Just say, hey, I do want to set up a time to talk. What we'll do is we'll just start going over different options and programs. So at least you can make an informed decision if this university is going to be right for you, what semester makes the most sense, what kind of scholarships are out there. So whatever your concerns are, more than happy to help you. It's always worth my time to try to help students figure this stuff out. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up. We're going to go ahead and end the recording. I'll hang back here in the chat to drop more links, more different, just different things for students if they need them. So I'll hang back in the chat for just a little bit longer. But once again, thank you so much to Richard, Steve, and Jan. Big shout out to the marketing team, the behind the scenes folks, William, Mr. John Beeson. We have Judy out there controlling everything in Wakana. So thank you all so much for your time tonight. Everybody go out there, be safe, take care of yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you here on Thursday or Tuesday next week.
Good night.
Thank you, guys.